there, boys and girls. It's Chetty here with Chetty and Lincoln's Horror Party Massacre. We're going to revisit a segment that we haven't done very much of lately. It is the movies you may have missed. This time around on Movies You May Have Missed is The Wax Mask. It is produced by Dario Argento. He co-wrote it. He produced it. One of the other co-writers of this film was none other than Lucio Fulci. He was also set to direct the movie until his untimely death, which happened just before they started filming this show. So they turned the director duties over to a makeup guy by the name of Sergio Stravetti. I butchered that name, I know I did, and I'm sorry, but that's the way it goes sometimes, because I'm not very bilingual. Storyline is pretty basic. We've seen it before with Vincent Price. We've seen it with House of Wax that was redone by Dark Castle back in the 90s. This movie actually came out in 97, The Wax Mask. And it's basically, you've got a guy who owns a wax museum. He's got two creepy guys that work with him. People in town die. They end up with their likeness being the newest creations in the Wax Museum. This one's a little bit more, they added a little bit more storyline and kind of changed up the way the wax statues are created in kind of a strange sci-fi looking way. They've added a little bit of storyline. Your main character is a girl who, when she was a child, ended up seeing her father murdered by a man with a shadowed figure with a iron claw in a very graphic manner. The hand was chopped off, the throat was slashed, the claw went through the chest. It's pretty graphic, pretty good gore. I mean, it is a Dario movie. You can kind of expect there to be some bloodshed. But anyway, she's a young girl, sees all this, grows up to be a nice looking young lady who ends up working at dun 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 dun, a wax museum where who would think it happened but the guy who runs the place, or maybe one of his creepy little sidekicks, might have been responsible for her father's murder years ago. And the owner of the Wax Museum has taken a strange interest in the young girl, giving her a job and showering her with affections. Kind of creepy. Overall, it's like I said, it's pretty standard. They added some interesting twists in there. The effort of turning someone into a wax mannequin, which that's not a spoiler, you know that's what they do. The way they do it, though, in this movie is kind of sci-fi, kind of high-tech. It's a little bit different and very weird. The ending is even weirder. It's very strange. I get the distinct feeling that the wax museum owner is going to be saying, "I'll be back." That's all I'm saying, because it's a weird fucking ending. Almost kind of ruined the movie a little bit just because it was so out there. The rest of the movie was very grounded in the time of its... in the era that it was taking place in. Very gothic is the way that this was done. Very atmospheric. It's never really a whodunit. You kind of get that idea right from the start who your mastermind is. The gore quotient was very good. It had ample amounts of, not too much to be disgusting and turn your head, but enough to satisfy those with the taste for the red. There was nudity. That's something that Lycan was not happy with, but she really didn't complain about it because the movie was overall good enough that it didn't distract her too much from it. There was one scene in there that was kind of like an eye-opening shock moment. I was very surprised to see it, and in fact, they got in a little bit of trouble with the scene. I'm not going to go into it, but they got into a little bit of trouble with it where they had to cut it down. But it's still there. So that's something I really want to see. Watch the movie. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you hit that scene. Overall, it is a good movie. Go ahead and watch it. The ending, you may laugh out loud about it. You may throw your hands up and just go, what the fuck? Or you may think it's just fucking brilliant. If you have ever seen The Wax Mask, tell me what you thought down below in the comments. Tell me what you thought about that ending. Because that ending still, I'm still a little torn on it. It certainly didn't fit, I don't think. but it didn't really ruin the movie for me. Anyway, that is a Movies You May Have Missed. The Wax Mask, Dario Argento presents. Definitely go give it a check out. It is worth it, especially if you're a fan of Dario. It doesn't have his normal staples, but, I mean, come on. He wrote it. So, it was a good flick. We enjoyed it. Until next time, I would like you to stay spooky.
I like it spooky.
I want to thank you. Anything you want, you just name it.